G'day, my name's Steve, and I'm a history buff. Can't get enough of it. And you know, the best thing about history is it's full of mystery. No one knows everything that has happened in the past, but there are stories. You can find stories anywhere. In buildings, in ruins of buildings, in objects. We history buffs, we call them artefacts. And there's official documents, and paintings, and photographs, and poems, and songs. Which brings me to this. Look what I found. This is a really old artefact. I had a quick look at it before. It's an old parchment. It's a song about Moreton Bay and convicts right here in Brisbane. Tells a story of some terrible things that happened. Do you know what? I reckon I could have a go at this song. Would you like to hear the song? I'll just go and get my guitar. One Sunday morning as I was walking by Brisbane waters, I chanced to stray. Heard a convict his fate bewailing as on the sunny river banks he lay. I am a native of Erin's Island, transported now from my native shore. They told me from my aged parents and from the maiden whom I adore. I've been a prisoner of Port Macquarie at Norfolk Island and Emu Plains, at Castle Hill and Kirstungabby. At all these settlements I've worked in chains. But of all places of condemnation and penal stations of New South Wales, of Moreton Bay I have found no equal. Excessive tyranny each day prevails. For 3 long years I was beastly treated, and on my legs I wore. My back from flogging was lacerated and often covered with my crimson gore. And many a man from downright starvation lies mouldering now underneath the clay. And Captain Logan, he had us mangled at the triangles of Moreton Bay. Like the Egyptians and ancient Hebrews, we were oppressed under Logan's yoke, till a native black lying there in ambush but did our tyrant his mortal stroke. My fellow prisoners be exhilarated that all such monsters a death shall find. And when from bondage we're liberated, our former suffering shall fade from mind. Strike a light! The fella who wrote that wasn't too happy. But this song is what we history buffs call a primary source of information. It was written by someone who was actually there at the time. So, we historians get a great insight into how things really were in the past. This helps us understand what it was really like. But what about the stories of other people in Moreton Bay at that time? Where are their stories? I'm intrigued. My mind is exploding with questions. Who was there? Why were they there? How? When? Where? What? And Moreton Bay. I thought it was just a place you went to eat fish and chips. But this song tells of starvation and floggings. But when did this happen? And Captain Logan, if he was such a terrible fellow, Why did they name a whole city and a great big road after him? And convicts. I didn't even know there were convicts in Moreton Bay. Well, I knew they were in Brisbane, because I've seen the windmill in Spring Hill. You know the one. And I heard there were convicts in Dunwich. You know, on North Stradbroke Island. You know what? My fingers are tingling. I've got butterflies in my tummy and my toes are twitching. My curiosity has been sparked. There's no stopping me now. I've got to go to this place, Dunwich, and find out more about this story. There's so much I don't know. This bit of history is a mystery. And it's the missing bits of history that makes it so exciting. Right, time to get serious. Let's get down to business. If we are going to find out the answers to some of these questions, we're going to have to launch an investigation. I can't do that alone. I'm going to need help. You look like the sort of people I need. But I'm going to have to make sure you've got what it takes. An investigation requires investigative journalists. That's a specialised branch of journalism. It's a bit like detectives. I'm going to need people with inquiring minds. That means, do you like to ask questions? Good. Spirit of adventure. A passion for getting to know the truth. And a team player. We're going to have to work as a team to gather all the information together. You've got those qualities, I can tell. You're just the people I need. It's an honour to work with you. Our task is to go to Dunwich and find out about some of that stuff that happened in the song. We need to look for primary and secondary sources, artefacts, seek out the stories, maybe even meet some of the characters. And we're going to use this information to imagine, try and feel what it was like in the past. If we ask the right questions, we may be able to fill in the gaps in some of this part of our history. Right, we better get cracking. I'll meet you down at the boat at Cleveland. And Katrina's going to be there as well. She's a friend of mine. And she's going to come along and give us a hand on the... Be prepared to pose questions, identify sources of information, and recognise different points of view. But most importantly, be prepared to think a bit differently. Right, I better go and pack. I'll see you there.